StartOut Growth Lab Cohort 7 graduation. My name is Chris Davidson. I'm the EIR for the program. Ryan Husk is our co-EIR. He will be speaking momentarily. Want to congratulate the 5 amazing companies in our graduating class. You're going to be hearing from them shortly, but prior to that, I want to introduce 2 people. The first is Andres. Andres is and there he is on video, is our amazing fearless leader, executive director of StartOut. He's going to talk for a few minutes about the amazing things that we do here. And then Sterling Chan. Sterling Chan is our amazing representative from DLA. DLA is our sponsor and makes this all happen. So Andres, over to you.
Thanks, Chris, and thanks everyone for being here. So exciting. This is an amazing event. Every 6 months, we're celebrating the latest graduates from the Growth Lab. And I just want to back up just a little bit and tell you a little more about StartOut if you don't know us very well. So our mission, StartOut's mission, is to increase the number, the diversity, and the impact of LGBTQ entrepreneurs. And then we amplify their stories to drive the economic empowerment of the community. So really important here, impact. So we're talking about impact throughout StartOut, but just the Growth Lab alone. The Growth Lab companies, the 30+ companies have been going through the Growth Lab. And I see some of them actually as attendees, which is awesome. So welcome back to the family here. But the impact has been absolutely amazing. The 30+ companies has succeeded from the previous Growth Lab cohorts. They raised over $110 million in funding and created over 210 jobs already, and obviously counting. So an amazing testament to what LGBTQ entrepreneurs can do, what they can contribute to the economy as a whole, because guess what? We don't want to just support our own community. We want to make sure that we are recognized, our whole community is recognized for all the amazing contributions that we're making to the economy of the whole of the United States. And so this is a specifically powerful group. The 5 entrepreneurs who you'll hear from today, they will talk about the impact they're having right now. So I'm super excited about this event. A little sad, of course, to see them go, but guess what? They will just join, they will go, they will leave the Growth Lab, they will join the alumni community and continue to be the amazing entrepreneurs they are. I see them, of course, as activists, activists for our cause, because economic empowerment matters. There's a lot of amazing organizations out there, from ACLU to GLAAD to HRC and many, many more, who do terrific work. But the economic empowerment is one that is really critical, and there just aren't that many organizations out there who help our entrepreneurs succeed. So I'm very, very proud of Chris Davidson, who's running the show here, for Ryan, who's supporting, of course, the whole StartOut team in the background. They're running all the programs. And all I can say at the very end now is I encourage you, all of you who are listening in here, to participate in our programs, participate in our events, and when you can, give back to the community as a whole. With that, thanks everyone, and back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Andres. Sterling, a few words from you and DLA. Again, thank you for your unconditional support. Without your support, we would not be here. Thank you. Sterling.
Sterling got dropped out as a panelist. He's still in the attendees list.
Emma, if you could try and bring back Sterling in. If not, we will just want to thank again, Sterling Chan, welcome. You're on mute.
Hey guys.
Hi Sterling.
Hi everyone. Thanks for promoting me back to the panelists, the ranks of the panelists again. I think I got demoted for a second there. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Awesome, thanks. Hi everyone, my name is Sterling Chan, and I'm stepping in for Tom Gaynor, who is one of the legal heads here at DLA. He's a corporate partner here at DLA office, and him and I started StartOut Growth Lab a couple years back. And first and foremost, thank you for participating. This cohort is the first true virtual cohort that we've had as part of the StartOut Growth Lab, and the success has been amazing. Including being the first fully international cohort with the Cauldron Company in the UK. So thank you so much for being part of this cohort. Your success has been fantastic to be part of and to see. And I think I speak for the whole firm when I say you've been part of the next generation and next iteration of what the StartOut Growth Lab cohort can be. And for all those reasons, this has truly been one of the most memorable versions of the cohort. And we certainly look forward to your future success as you continue to grow and achieve your dreams, as you've outlined throughout the course of this year. One of the best parts of seeing companies graduate from the cohort is being able to see the participants and the founders grow as not only part of the entrepreneurial community here in the Bay Area, worldwide, but just being part of the LGBTQ entrepreneurial community as a whole, and being voices for all the economic equality that we all deserve. As Andres pointed out earlier, this is all about empowerment. And for that reason, DLA salutes you, and we look forward to all your success to come.
Thank you, Sterling. Really appreciate that. So I'm going to pontificate for 2 minutes, maybe 3, a little bit about behind the scenes of what Growth Lab is. And then we're going to have Ryan Husk introduce the companies, and then we're going to start our presentations. As Andres was saying, we've had 30 graduates. Growth Lab is clearly in its 7th cohort. So what is the Growth Lab? The Growth Lab is a 6-month accelerator program where we bring in anywhere from 5 to 7 companies, and we work with them very similar to other accelerators. We are not YC, we are not 500, but what we are is we're really tailored, and we meet the entrepreneurs where they are. Ryan and I spend a lot of time devising the curriculum specifically for the upcoming cohort. So as Lee Honeywell, who I believe is here, will say, who is a graduate of YC, you get a partner maybe 30 minutes every other week at some of the larger accelerator programs. Here you get Ryan and I hours a week. And we really dedicate a lot of time, energy, and effort to not only meeting you where you are, but after 6 months, hopefully progressing you to the next level within your company. So cohort 8, FYI, we're still taking applications. Cohort 8, the final date for application is April 15th. As you can see here, and as, in the chat, and as Sterling said, we are now virtual. So we have in this cohort Cauldron Company in from London. We have Fluent Forever in from Chicago. We have Keydabra in from Atlanta. And we have College Cash and Demetrius in from Texas. So please, from New York to Australia to South Africa to wherever you are, please apply. We'd love to be able to expand our reach even more. So that was hopefully under 3 minutes. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Ryan. He's going to introduce our 5 companies, and then we're going to begin the presentations.
Thank you, Chris. I have to say that first, just that I was actually, or I am an alumni of cohort number 2, and to see the growth and development and skill set of the founders that have come in with each next cohort has been so impressive. I look at what you guys have accomplished in 6 months, and it is unbelievable. You guys are incredibly talented. I'm so lucky that I've been able to be a small part of your journey, and at least be able to observe some of the amazing things that you guys have done. So thank you so much. We are going to go ahead and jump into these company pitches. I'll do a brief intro. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. At the end, we will have a Q&A where we'll pull from the chat. We'll also give the opportunity for some of the founders to answer these questions themselves. So we'll do our best to capture those questions and make sure, oh, James Silva, hi, cohort 2, thank you for representing. We'll make sure that we get a chance to have the founders answer some of these questions. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the first company. They are blending the barriers of magic, science, entertainment, and my favorite part, cocktails, and creating amazing experiences. It's the Cauldron Company. So I will go ahead and pass along to Matt and Dave.
Thanks, Ryan. Hello, everyone. My name's Dave. I am the COO and co-founder of the Cauldron Company. As Ryan and Chris have pointed out, we are calling in from London. We're very, very excited and very privileged to be the first kind of like international expansion of StartOut. Matt is going to be taking the bulk of our presentation, so I'm going to hand over to him in just a sec, but figured I'd say hello. Thank you all for attending and looking forward to answering any questions and watching the presentations throughout the evening. Over to you, Matt.
Thanks, Dave. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you see the screen? Screen share's all right?
We're good, Matt.
Okay, great. Let's get to some magic, guys. What if I told you that childhood is never gone? Imagination is not just for kids, and magic is real. We are the Cauldron Company, a technology-led entertainment studio that brings interactive and immersive experiences to life through science, technology, and design across food, beverage, and retail. Essentially, we're making magic real. When someone walks into one of our venues, they get a working IoT magic wand, which is a patented invention of ours that has embedded technology inside of it and acts as the control device for an entire guest experience. It's even unscrewable, so it can be mixed and matched to create someone's custom magic wand. This is used inside of our venue to do everything from pour drinks, activate a magnetic stir for stirring drinks, unlock cabinets, turn on lights, track your spending. And it's the key for your interaction at the Cauldron. Dave and I lead the company. We're on the top 100 people in food and beverage in the world in Business Insiders. If you want to put us somewhere on the list, we're slightly cooler than Meghan Markle and Prince Charles, but not as cool as George Clooney and Anthony Bourdain. But the real rock stars of our company are our employees. These are industry experts that span food and beverage, hardware and software engineering, and prop and set design. We are Magic-ineers. It is what we use to describe the union of magic and engineering. And what makes our studio and our company special is we have a Magic-ineering studio where we invent and create and dream everything that we do in the Cauldron in-house. And so we build this and invent this in London, and then we ship it out as a vendor to all of our venues around the world. And it means that we're very, very, very difficult to replicate what we do and how we do it. Don't just take my word, let's look at some guest quotes. This was a highlight for my trip to London. Everything from the atmosphere to the drinks was perfect. I had a magical time. I posted this on Instagram stories and sent at least 5 or 6 people the link to purchase. This was awesome. And my personal favorite, this experience changed my life. And I don't think my mom wrote this one, but I'm not sure. In our first 2 years, we brought in over $12 million in revenue, welcomed over 350,000 guests through ticket sales, and we operated in 4 of the best cities in the world. We're also very fortunate to be named as one of the top things in the cities where we do operate. For example, BuzzFeed and Business Insider both named us as the #1 thing to do in London. Forbes said, through some ingenious tech, those wands can be hooked up to your credit card and used to activate different beer and cider spouts from an ornate tree of life. NBC, I feel as if we're in magical paradise. GMA, it is the ultimate fantasy experience. So obviously we've been affected by COVID because up to this point we were welcoming people for in-person immersive experiences, but we are a really scrappy and innovative startup. And so we just began using our IP more expansively. We branched into e-commerce, retail products, education technology products. Our magic wands teach computer programming. I'm a former teacher with Teach for America, so this is near and dear to our hearts. Virtual cocktail classes and kits. Our employees have been so busy during COVID inventing and making new revenue streams. I think they're going to be really happy when our bars and restaurants are reopened because it means they can stop inventing new things. But it's something that's notable is our operating format, how we exist and welcome people into our experiences is already largely COVID compliant. And so these restrictions, and they're just a different way of operating that we're already used to. So it makes us more viable to be more efficient than a traditional service venue. When COVID restrictions lift, which is about to happen in London, we will have 4 concepts live. A Wizard Afternoon Tea concept, which is an F&B concept, Magic Wand Building, which is an interactive retail experience, and then a new Superheroes Bar and Potion Making, which are both interactive cocktail making experiences. The growth and the revenue that our company brings in is directly proportional to the number of venues that we can open. We have invented and created an off-the-shelf, pop-up, shippable product that can be sent to any city in the world, unboxed, set up, and operated with a manual. And so our expansion plan without investment is to open 5 venues every 12 months, which means in 3 years' time, we're bringing in 45 million in annual recurring revenue. In 5 years' time, that's 72 million. And I want to stress that this can be accelerated with investment. We are in the middle of a capital raise right now, and we're taking in money so that we can strategically scale and take advantage of the market opportunity in front of us. London is where we're based. We're based in London. London's the origin point for interactive cocktail experiences. And we are the best company in London for this concept. We've developed the Playbook for interactive and immersive drinks experiences. This playbook is pretty sophisticated. It's been built over 3 years of R&D and running experiences in venues. And it's something that channels the strength of our Magic studio with our manufacturing, small group manufacturing, and then our ability to send this out into the world. For example, we've done a CRM analysis of over 400,000 customer data points to turn those into actionable insights that inform our strategy and growth and allow us to drive decisions, make data-driven decisions about who to work with, where to advertise, what outlets to be in, how to reach our customers, which cities to go to next. It's a really sophisticated approach that we're taking to this. One of the things that Dave and I have learned in Growth Lab is the importance of deal flow, and how oftentimes really, really successful entrepreneurs will position themselves at the center of their industry and have a pulse on everything that's going on. And as the best company in the best city in the world for what we do, we can do the same thing. So this quarter, we're opening the Cauldron Labs, which is an incubation space. So we've taken a lease on a pub in East London. It's rather large. And we are putting our Magic studio in the back. And then we're using the front space as a rotating iterative space, an incubation space for new concepts that we can then apply our formula to. So we're first putting the Superheroes Bar there to then test how the market responds, and as well the technology, so we can get it ready to go to New York City, we can get it ready to go to Edinburgh. And then we can pop out other concepts. It's why the second largest entertainment in the company in the world is working with us to build something for an interactive cocktail experience, why one of the biggest pub chains in the UK is doing the same. And then we can take this and apply it to our concepts or other people's concepts. It's kind of like the product designer's dream, where you make something and you dream it, you observe it in situ, You change it, you validate it, you go through that cycle to get it ready to manufacture and scale. It's really worth mentioning too, and Andres hit on this in his opening remarks, is that we exist in a community, and diversity and inclusivity are at our core as a company, which is why we're in Growth Lab. And so in London, we have made Mermaids our charity of choice. Mermaids is a charity that focuses on trans activism and support for trans kids and families. And so they're our charity and our family-focused venue. Right now, we're in the process of installing Magic Wand activated window displays in venues all around Soho that have pledged to make their venues safe spaces for the trans community, because we believe, as it should be, that magic is for everyone and includes everyone. Going into Growth Lab, we had some goals that were about raising capital and building our London flagship in Soho. After Growth Lab, we have prepared for the capital raise. We haven't yet built the London flagship because that's linked to the capital raise, as well as the market conditions being right, which they are right now, and preparing for expansion. But then we went a bit above and beyond. Both Dave and I experienced a large amount of professional growth due to the mentorship and the sessions that we had in Growth Lab, how we can position our company for next expansion and future growth. And really, I think the bottom one, number 8 there, be the race car driver. We are the industry leader in what it is that we do. And it's about how we project that to the outside world and explain what it is we do and how we do it. Right now, we are in the middle of a capital raise. So we oversubscribed for our first tranche, and now we are opening up our second tranche of investment. And this is the first time our company will have ever taken investment. So it's a really good time to be involved, and we're open to conversations with accredited investors. We are a UK company, but we are able to take investment from US individuals who are accredited investors or funds. So this is my email address, or you can reach me through StartOut if you get in contact with them. And that's what we got for the presentation. While I have the floor, I just want to thank each of the presenters who took their time to work with our cohort and impart their knowledge on us. I want to thank the StartOut team, specifically Andres, Sarah, and Angelique, who were our touch points who made this program possible. I want to thank our advisors and mentors, Lindsay, who's new mentor for me, and specifically these 3 guys right here. Chris and Ryan, I think, are the biggest point of feedback for Dave and I for professional growth, and they've just been absolutely spectacular. And Tom from DLA, we want to thank Tom and DLA for sponsoring the program and making this a priority for what they do. And also to our cohort, you guys are awesome, and we can't wait to see what comes next for your companies. So thank you very much.
Matt,
I was not emotionally prepared for that ending.
Yeah, from the bottom of my heart, you talked about the professional growth. Seeing your growth and understanding your business, putting in place, proof points and the technology to manage your staff and your workflow, and then to owning your own kind of power as leaders. It really has been, from day one to now, a true arc. And I just want to say thank you for participating. And I think everybody in the chat is super excited to head over to London and now, participate in this. I know I am. So thank you from the bottom of both my heart and Ryan's heart. It has been a pleasure to work with you, and can't wait. And to see you in the UK, and then also to have you continue represent StartOut and us and bringing more great companies into the fold. So thank you.
It's been our pleasure. You guys are great. If anyone wants to go to the Cauldron, New York, special StartOut discount, send me an email. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Dave. Great presentation. Really appreciate those call outs. Really, really sweet. I would like to move us on to our next presenter, Demetrius Curry. He is one of the most mission-driven founders, incredibly talented, bootstrappy. This guy can get in a room and close a deal with, I think, literally anyone. Just get him in the room. he created College Cash to help reduce student loan debt and support the underbanked, underemployed, and the gig worker economy. So I would like to go ahead and pass it over to him. Trey, whenever you're ready, thank you so much. The floor is yours.
I appreciate that. First of all, good evening. And it's gonna be kind of hard. I gotta make sure I live up to that wonderful introduction. So let me go ahead and bring up mine. And I'm really, really happy to be here. Not just at graduation, but also just have a chance to be part of StartOut and Growth Lab. Now, one of the things that everybody's learned about me is I have a very unique personality. And that personality is going to be reflected in what you're about to see. So bear with me. All right. So as Ryan said, I am Demetrius Curry, better known as Trey. I am the CEO and founder of College Cash. We are a student loan platform that actually has taken repaying your student loans and made it a lot easier and kind of stood it on its head. Now, the main problem everybody knows is student loans suck. I wish I could come up with a better technical term for it, but student loans suck. We all know this. However, what most of us don't know, however, is the intangible effects of that same student loan debt. So when we hear 1.6, 1.7, 1.8 trillion dollars, we hear those dollar amounts, but we don't look at really how that affects the individuals and hence affects the entire economy. So when you look at people with student loan debt difficulties, 56% struggle to buy a car, 50% hold back on buying a house, 41% can't open a credit card, and here's the most surprising stat, 49% delay getting engaged or married. Now, that pretty much covers every aspect of what student loan debt can mess up. So we created College Cash. I took the three things that irritated me the most, which was student loan debt, advertising, and social media, and combined them to have a better impact. And we built College Cash, where brands can run user-generated content campaigns securely in our platform. It means that you don't have to run it in public forums where, as most of us have probably seen, campaigns can go way left and off topic. So they run those campaigns inside our platform, with the difference being users whose images are selected, instead of being compensated directly, the money goes directly to their student loan debt, which means, almost like Instagram for student loan debt. I hate doing the blank for blank, but this pretty much sums it up. Now, we handle all of the heavy lifting. We take care of the balances, disbursements, the loan services, account reconciliation, because we made it really as simple and easy as possible. That's where we started. Now, we also have white label services for student loan servicers, for user acquisition. And one of the things we're most proud of is we are able now to integrate with any gig economy platform where the tips earned by drivers, dashers, delivery people can now go directly toward their student loan debt as well. The market that we know we can directly make an impact on is that 12% that's in default, which still represents $160 billion, but they're the ones that need it the most. After that, we can look at actually going into the markets with people who are behind but not in default. Now, this is going to kind of go off the rails a little bit because I was told to talk about some of our initial goals when I started this program and where we are now. So you'll see the transition. My goals when I started Growth Lab, and I have to thank Chris and Ryan for this, was, first of all, define exactly what College Cash is and establish our identity. Because I was just all over the place, like we could do this, we could do. Are we ad tech? Are we fintech? No. This helped establish our identity. Next one was gaining a better understanding of how to embrace my role as a CEO. Not as a founder, but as a CEO, because those are inherently two different things. And thanks, Chris, for making me remember that. Also had to establish a go-to-market strategy and begin to execute. Not just talk about what I was going to do, but actually start doing it. And finally, and most importantly, was I had to embrace my own identity to become whole. And I say that because prior to being in Growth Lab and StartOut, I had never publicly identified with the community. This was my first public forum to actually just self-identify. And it took a little bit, but I had to, because if you don't, you can't be a good founder, you can't be a good CEO, you can't be a good anything unless you're able to really be yourself. So that was one of the goals that I had. So I told you guys, my personality is a little bit different. So how it started, man, how it's going. When I started, I was a fighter. That's how I got to this point. But being part of Growth Lab, getting the support and everything that they provide, it's kind of taken me to the next level. I told you guys I was a little bit different. Now, what's going on since I've been in Growth Lab? Well, we have paying clients on our platform. We deliver a white label agreement to a top tier student loan company. We have a signed revenue share agreement with another student loan company. And we're actually in early stage partnership discussions with these companies and a few more. Even more so, we had a really great article written on us in TechCrunch, and going back to the becoming whole, I was proudly one of the contributors to the Black History Month article for StartOut, and also served as a panelist for racial equity for StartOut as well. This was part of me becoming me. Now, also, and kind of a side note, we've also received term sheets and commitments for $500,000 of the round we're doing now, which is huge for us, to come from almost nothing to come to something. What comes next? I hope everybody gets this reference too. What's next? Well, we have some things up our sleeves. We're actually adding the ability to have funds go toward credit card debt as well. We'll also have the ability to use our platform for international student loan debt based on our workings with these student loan companies. We're about to have a strong focus on gig economy integrations. And we're also in the process of integrating with grocery store loyalty programs where you can convert your points to money off your student loan debt. All of this backs up my initial goal of using everyday behavior to reduce student loan debt. I don't want to change what people are doing, just have them get a different benefit from it. Because as Ryan said, the unbanked, underbanked, underemployed, unemployed, this is something, because taking a picture is free. So I wanted something that everybody could participate in. Now, yeah, the nerd in me came out. Before Growth Lab, I felt like I was fighting by myself. I was doing a good fight, but I was getting whooped. I'll say it out loud. I was getting beat down. But after participating in Growth Lab, I'm not by myself. I have a community. I mean, this is the singularly best experience I've encountered since being in the Marines. I feel like there's nothing that I can't ask somebody in this community for, and everybody in this community supports each other. The amount of support and having my back and the other founders' backs that I've actually seen and been a part of, yeah, this is the best way I could actually sum it up. Now, my thanks. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody who came tonight, because this means a lot to us. I want to thank every other company in the cohort. We gave each other strength. Chris, Ryan, Andreas, Angelique, Sarah, everybody. And I say this from the bottom of my heart in case anybody ever has any doubts of whether the program works or everything's going toward it. Yes, what DLA Piper is sponsoring with Growth Lab has had a huge impact on us, me, and I don't think the words could adequately ever describe the amount of thanks and gratitude that I hold from my cohort mates to the team at Growth Labs, to the EIRs, to the mentors, to the program managers, the people who connect you with mentors. And speaking of which, I have to give my mentor, Edward Galvin from Visa, a definite shout out. He took me under his wing and really helped me progress as well. So I greatly appreciate that, because he went above and beyond where he was, even probably what he had to. So that's me. That's College Cash. I want to thank everybody. All I can say is just thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Demetrius. Trey, you and I have had a very special 6 months, and it is, as Ryan said, it's clear you own a room, you can close a deal, your energy is infectious. I just want to talk about your personal growth. I am so proud to have seen and witnessed and maybe been alongside you as you've been going through this, not only as identifying with the community, but more specifically, owning your Ronin. You're owning your StartOut Ronin, connecting your past, your childhood, embracing and loving every single aspect of yourself that is going to make you, in my mind, the most powerful CEO out there. Congratulations. You deserve everything that is coming to you. Thank you.
I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Trey, thank you so much. Amazing presentation. We're all so glad that we were able to be part of your journey. So I am excited to take the next step to introduce our next entrepreneur. Not only is Gabe exceptional entrepreneur, he is also a best-selling author. He founded Fluent Forever, and Fluent Forever, I believe everyone in the cohort has actually become users of Fluent Forever, myself included. And his app is helping people learn languages faster and make sure they don't forget it. So I will let him have the stage. Thanks, Gabe.
Absolutely. So our basic premise is pretty straightforward. We can get you fluent in another language in about 6 months. So we're solving what is a pretty straightforward problem, which is that most people in the world wish they could speak another language, and yet language learning tools have failed them for the most part. They really don't work all that well. And they don't work well for 3 main reasons. They don't start with ear training, they're not focused on the right information set, and then they don't repeat that information at the right rate so you can actually remember it long term. So starting with ear training, several years ago, I learned Hungarian to speak with my grandparents, and I hit this monster. This is fényképezőgép, and it's the word for camera. And if I distract you for literally 2 seconds, you will have all forgotten that word. And that happens because fényképezőgép is composed of sounds that you've never learned how to hear. So ear training is your first barrier to entry with any language. And there's a very quick fix for it. You just have to practice telling the difference between similar sounding words like doman, toma. So our app trains your ears and then builds personalized flashcards to help you remember that training. When you learn that P is for pelota, you choose your favorite pelota. And you do that because when you personalize your own content, it becomes much more effective. So we personalize everything that every user sees. And that takes us to that whole learning the right information thing. When I told you that fényképezőgép was the word for camera, it was actually a complete waste of your time. Your word camera is already connected to every camera you've seen in your life. It's connected to words like shutter and lens and iPhone 11. All of that is built into that word. Whereas fényképezőgép, for you, it's connected to nothing because translations are the least useful information about words. And so instead of translations, we teach you your first words using pictures. And then we use fill in the blank sentences next to pictures to teach you more abstract things like the preposition en, estar en llamas. And the last piece is, when should you repeat this stuff? And the answer is, well, right before you forget it. There are algorithms that will figure that out, and everything you do in our app lives within those algorithms. When you combine all these features, you get something that's allowing our users to reach levels of fluency that every other tool on the market can't even approach. Now, there are big players in this market because this is a huge and growing market. But there is research behind everything that we do, and it produces dramatically better churn rates than our competition. In terms of our early traction, my book on this became the only national bestseller on language learning in history. My crowdfunding campaign was the most successful crowdfunding for any app in history. This was us just under a year after launch at $61,000 of monthly recurring, and this is us 1 year later. We've quadrupled in size. Our basic business is a $10 a month B2C play. This is the same price as Duolingo Premium. To hit 100 million ARR, we need 1 million customers. And as it turns out, it seems like these customers are really easily accessible to us. It seems like a lot of people have been waiting for something that actually works. We've built a brilliant 25-person team. My tech is led by a CTO who's led teams at Microsoft, Adobe, and other companies for 25 years. And my background was in science and engineering before I became a professional opera singer, learned 8 languages, and then started this company. We came into Growth Lab after a $5 million seed round, like the month after. And I had a company to build, which is to say we were a scrappy startup that had kind of got our shit together for the most part. But like we had a lot to really build to become a stable, solid tech company. And so rather than having like 3 goals, I had to sort of divide this out from department to department. As a CEO, I knew how to build some products. I knew how to scramble and get stuff done, but I didn't know strategy, and I wanted to become a strategist. Over the course of this program, I succeeded in that thing. At this point, we have a fully mapped out strategy of this leads to that, leads to that, leads to the exact goals we want. That everyone in our company knows it. Everyone in our company understands who we are, why we are doing what we are doing, how to do it. And now we're starting to map numbers to that thing. That's sort of the goal of the next 6 months. The product team didn't exist. We didn't have a product org, really. We had Gabe making some stuff. At this point, we have a serious product org with a head of product, with designers. We're actually hiring 8 people into that department this month. Our growth person at that point, our goal honestly was to throttle the growth. Our product wasn't ready for it, for the intense growth we were seeing at the end of last year. And the goal was, okay, let's bring that down. Let's say, hey, keep it at like 6% while we actually start building a real organic strategy. We've accomplished that. We've cut our ad spends by like 90%. We're still growing more than 6% a month. But goal is now, let's build a real content strategy, SEO, all that stuff. Engineering team, we wanted to actually get some real velocity into our product. We wanted to hire 2 to 3 new developers. We got 2 of them, and now we're sort of focusing on automation so we can go even faster. Customer service, we wanted to hire 2 new people and then move into customer success. We got the 2 new people. We are a little behind on the customer success, and we're all starting to roll that out now. In finance, we had no finance department. Now we actually have a finance department with actual projections, real budgets, all that stuff. We're now starting to bring in data science so that we actually can feel confident in that thing, understand all the aspects of those projections, and feel like we can trust them. Ops had a million things to do, but mostly the biggest thing was building out our HR department, which they succeeded at. We now have a solid recruiting process, and we're now starting to try and pay back our HR debt of having all sorts of people at different pay scales and trying to even that out, make it fair across the company so that by the time we hit Series A, we're actually all like super happy to be here on that front from a pay scale standpoint. And then R&D is sort of the part I'm most excited about. We didn't have a real R&D department. We didn't have that function, and I've been missing it. I mean, I haven't been able to innovate in a long time, and suddenly now I'm able to do that thing. We rolled out a high touch tutoring model. We're starting to get NPS scores, these net promoter scores of like 60 to 70 plus. People are paying $300 a month for tutoring through us, in addition to the sort of the base thing. And now we're starting to move that into our core product. In terms of what's next, by Q3, the goal is to take our core product and really nail product market fit. We're already brought our NPS scores up by like 15 points. The goal is to bring it up another 15 to 30 points. In Q4, once that's done, our goal is to really turn on the engines for growth. Take our Facebook ads and down from that 10% thing that we're spending now up to 100 or 200% of what we're doing. And then also prove out the value of user-generated content, because that is the future of where we're really headed. And finally, in Q2 of 2022, close what will end up being a very, very large Series A. For asks, I don't have a lot. We've been actually getting a ton of things from the community every time I've asked, and so we have a lot of our needs met. But for the nowish time, for the immediate future, if you know rockstar user researchers, I want one of them. Please let me know who that person is. If you know rockstar CTOs, people who could be mentors or advisors for my CTO, I'm trying to build growth plans for everyone on our executive team, and CTO is my next target. But for the future, there's a lot more out there. Like over the next, say, 9 to 12 months, we're going to be hiring a lot of people. And if you know rock stars in marketing, in product, in customer service, in project management, or in engineering, I want to know their names. Please hook me up with these people. We are as good as our people. And this community, I think, it's the biggest resource here. And speaking of that resource, I came into Growth Lab because of Chris. I wanted to work with Chris. Chris was like, hey, if you come here, you could work with me. Also, there's other stuff. And I was like, other stuff, whatever. Chris, I got Chris. Chris is great, everything that I wanted to be. What I didn't realize is that other stuff was a lot. I mean, the StartOut team, Angelique, Sarah, Ryan, like Andres, like huge. Just the amount of clear support, the idea that we can go at any time and be like, hey, we need something and get it is huge. Tom at DLA, like also super huge. We're actually starting to like potentially work together, things like that. Super exciting. I think the thing I didn't really expect at all was the cohort. Trey, Matt, Dave, Travis, Robin, like the amount of connection and camaraderie and the feeling that like, I think as Trey was mentioning, like we're not alone in this thing, that we have some people who have our backs and are really rooting for each other. That was super special and unexpected, and great. And so I just want to thank everyone on the team and everyone in the cohort for that. It's really, really huge. And that's all I got for today. Thank you all.
Gabe, from every comment in the panel, killing it, crushing it, amazing traction. We don't need to talk about your business. You have an amazing business. I want to acknowledge that we met on a StartOut office hour 3 years ago, talking about capital raising. I put together a little, how-to, and you did it. And you did it better than anybody else. And you know how to do things. They come to you and you make them better. And my request for you is just lean into yourself. Everything you need is inside of you. Trust that gut of yours. You're going to make special things happen in this world. And we are just honored to be in your presence. When you own that, you will destroy everything in a great way, if you know what I mean. So, and also last thing to you, thank you for being the amazing shining light and or possible mentor to some of the other younger companies not as far along as you. I can't tell you how special it is to see somebody doing, about to kill an A round, which you're going to do. It's a great example for everybody, in that cohort and, listening here today. Thank you, Gabe. Really honored that you participated with us.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks so much, Gabe. Very impressive. I think we're all very sad to see each other go, but I will second what Chris said, saying that, there is something about, Chris and I get to be mentors to the cohort, but you have also been a mentor. Every member of the team has been a mentor to each other, and it's been so impressive. And the sense of community that we have in this cohort, as odd as it is, I think that we are closer, you all are closer because we're being remote, because it's more challenging. We have to be intentional with the time. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would like to introduce our next founder. Travis is sort of like this ninja who's like super quiet, and like all of a sudden he'll announce this amazing news with no fanfare at all. He's like the last one to toot his own horn. He has taken amazing steps with his company, and also as a leader and the CEO of his company, he's done amazing things and grown quite a bit. His company is Keydabra, and I'm a big nerd, and this is probably one of the companies that I am most excited about, because it's a tool that uses machine learning to help companies improve the experience on their website and drive better results. So Travis, please take the stage.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. So as Ryan said, I'm Travis, the co-founder and CEO of Keydabra. The last 6 months with the StartOut crew have flown by, and I'm excited to share with you guys a little bit about Keydabra and our progress during the program. So let's start with what is Keydabra. Keydabra is a software company that reveals hidden patterns within web data and provides actionable insights to increase sales. Much of what used to happen offline is now happening online, and COVID has only accelerated this. Yet last year, we saw the highest number of retail bankruptcies in a decade, and many of these companies were e-commerce companies. At the same time, companies who had mastered their digital platforms like Amazon and Netflix were achieving all-time highs in revenue. So there's a major disconnect here. Businesses are generating tons of web data. Every click, every search, everything you do on a website is data, but very few businesses can actually use that data. And most businesses don't know how to capture the customers who land on their websites. And it shows. Conversion rates online average about 3%. That's actually 7 times lower than a brick and mortar store. Most websites aren't capturing customers, and most companies don't have the technology to understand how to. So over the last 4 years, after many tests, my co-founders and I developed software through a proprietary set of algorithms that reveals hidden patterns to improve user experiences and increase sales. Our software captures customers' online experience and translates it into actionable insights. We measure user experience and conversion rates and make predictions on how to improve them using machine learning. So to put this in the simplest terms, we created a way to measure the efficiency of a site and develop software that provides recommendations on how to make a website more efficient. We took something subjective, which is a user's experience, and turned it into something mathematical. And in our test, we've shown an up to 10x improvement in conversion rates. So we've shown the ability to improve conversion rates drastically. Through our proprietary machine learning algorithms, we can predict how to improve the structure of a site. We can help customers enhance the search within their website. We help subscribers eliminate blanket discounts, and we allow them to target the visitors most likely to buy and the products most likely to sell in near real time. Our software can work to make almost any website more efficient. For example, we worked with an e-commerce company and we helped increase their conversion rate over 250% while simultaneously lowering their discounts over 57%. We did this by utilizing our algorithm to suggest broad site changes, and we helped them target the visitors most likely to buy. Our software is completely automated and it sits on top of Google Analytics, making onboarding very simple. Our initial go-to-market approach focuses on targeting the small and medium-sized businesses who have been priced out of data intelligence. Other companies in the space are charging around $150,000 per year just for data visualization. Many of the small and medium-sized businesses simply can't afford that, and that's a market we're trying to grab. We're also pursuing enterprise direct sales and partnering with web hosting and IT consulting firms. We're operating on a SaaS model, and clients thus far have all signed up for an annual subscription with a flat monthly fee that depends on the amount of visitors a site gets. The products that are currently in the market are outdated, overly complicated, and too expensive. Most of the companies that we see are just data visualization. They take your data, they make it look pretty, and they give it back to you to figure out. There's so many of these companies out there. But we're doing something very different. There's very few of these companies who are focusing on intelligence. Keydabra is not another analytics company. Keydabra is an intelligence company. Our customers get a simple report that measures the user experience on their website and predicts how they can capture more visitors. And that's really the difference with Keydabra. We make predictions using machine learning. So we're entering a massive market. For the last 10 years, the focus has been on SEO, driving people to your website. We like to think of ourselves as the opposite side of that coin. $80 billion is being spent this year on SEO in the US alone. If enterprises are willing to spend $80 billion just to drive people to their site, surely they're willing to spend to make sure they capture the people who actually land there. We worked on the technology behind this software for years, but we founded Keydabra in 2019. And this year, as you all know, we joined the StartOut Accelerator, which brings us to today, our graduation from StartOut. One of the things about being an entrepreneur is you can't really understand it unless you've lived it. You can't understand the depth, the struggle, the highs, the lows, the pressure, and all the wonderful things that go along with it. It's the same being a gay man or a member of the LGBTQ plus community. It's really hard to understand unless you've lived it. Sometimes it's comforting to have a network of people who have shared your experiences, who can encourage you and sympathize with you, celebrate you, people who just get it. And StartOut has been that partner. They've been phenomenal for me and for Keydabra. When we started the program, we had goals of increasing our monthly recurring revenue, our lead list, and getting the traction we needed to raise a seed round. Over the last 6 months, we finished testing our product. We validated that our software can help drastically improve conversion rates, and we're now onboarding our 9th customer on an annual subscription. We've almost doubled our monthly recurring revenue, and we've raised nearly half of our seed round, which we're aiming to close in April. We've also built an awesome and nimble team with 7 full-time engineers who are building something really awesome for our clients. So that's Keydabra, a little bit about our company and the progress we've made during StartOut. This has been such a great experience connecting with the community, the network, and the other amazing companies and leaders in our cohort who are so inspiring to me. So I want to thank all of you, Chris, Sarah, Ryan, Angelique, Andres, DLA, and of course, Robin, Gabe, Trey, Dave, and Matt. I'm really excited to see the future for all of our awesome companies. So thank you guys.
Travis, I love Ryan's great presentation. I love Ryan's ninja comment. So this is a personal share. We did an amazing little individual TED Talk where all the cohort companies kind of talked about their, superpower, what makes them different, special, unique. And Travis is like, I'm kind of just this, average guy, and he, was the most fun, surprising, made everybody laugh. It's been an honor to experience you as a person, and you're so surprising, and it's so much fun. So thank you for that. And more importantly, you're doing the work. You're showing up, you're doing it, you're growing your customers. It's really great to see. We outlined what you needed to do and you're doing it. Keep doing it. And my only comment is the sooner you can get away from founder-led sales and get into that systematic, funnel math, the better. But you are well on your way. And thank you for bringing a light to our program.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, Travis. I sort of feel like we've saved one of the most exciting people for the last moment. I think I speak for everyone in this cohort when I say that Robin is probably one of the most engaging people we have. She literally just brings joy and fun to every interaction. It does not matter how potentially boring something is. She will find a way to make us laugh. And I know she has played a huge role in bringing the cohort together beyond just our planned lunch and learns and office hours and stuff. And she's really, I think, in a way, kind of the heart and soul of this cohort. I've just been so impressed with what you've done, Robin. And you put that same passion into your company, Central Innovations. I am just incredibly impressed, and I will let you take over from here before I, start to make the other cohort members jealous. So
before my face turns completely red, well, it's still just half red. Thank you for the kind words. That means a lot to me. And companies are a really serious thing, having a business. And because it's so serious, I want to start with a quote. This is a little bit of a solemn quote, actually. It's by Kermit the Frog. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong. Wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. This is by Kermit the Frog, one of the Muppets. And the Muppets are among some of the greatest business leaders of all time. And I'm saying this up front because I made a ton of slides for today. I even had to spend a lot of time in the bathroom before this meeting because I get nervous before pitch meetings. And then I had a brainwave, which is that for me right now, it's not about the numbers of what we achieved in this program. It is about what Kermit the Frog is talking about, the connections made between folks here. And even though I'm kind of laughing from those lyrics and from Ryan's really benevolent introduction of me and generous, I think that the thing that has me almost crying here is that we did this during a pandemic at a time when I know a lot of the people on this call went through a lot of difficult things, as did a lot of the members of this cohort. I got kicked out of my office, as you can see. And we had all these things happen. And yet we showed up for these Zoom calls and tried to really show up for one another. I'm losing words a little bit because it's that showing up part that I think was not a guarantee. It was Ryan and Chris kind of put out this petri dish with a huge amount of background support from Angelique and Sarah and Andreas and Tom and the other members of DLA, all the presenters that kind of put this in front of us. And we suddenly appeared with it. It was as if someone had like set the table. And the reason I want to talk like this is that Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they will not forget how you made them feel. And that's really the thing that is top of mind for me right now. I pitch a lot. I pitch all the time. It's wonderful. But I think what's really kind of cutting behind that, like who's the entrepreneur behind that? And why is coming together in community like this so important for us during this time? I'm going to just intersplice my thank yous as I go along. So I want to have a few quick anecdotes and say a thank you to each of the cohort members. Dave, that time that you got on and you were listening, you were like listening to music on speakers on the ceiling throughout one of your venues. And then you told us that our voices had come on there during the Zoom call because you had set the output to that. One of the funniest stories ever, and I'm going to take that with me. Matt, you shared with us a personal coming out story that I'm still thinking about. That was just such an audacious thing to do during your teaching time. Travis, you were always smiling and always kind of finding ways, despite some of the challenges that came your way. You were, I think, finding a way to like lighten the load, and that helped me lighten the load as well. Gabe, your irreverence about venture capitalists is really, it's just really refreshing, because a lot of people talk about venture capital as this very onerous task, and I feel like you're irreverent, and so you get it done. Trey, the song you contributed to that first meetup where we had a song background, I still listen to that when I need an inspirational moment. And your discussion of the enterprise sales process, also, I think making it sound like it's easy and tractable made me feel really like, it is easy and tractable if you can approach it like Trey. So those are those are the thank yous to the cohort. I will bring up the official thank you slide as well here. Let's do this. This is actually how many of my presentations have gone in my life. I make all these slides and I say things, and the things I say are more important than the slides I make. All right, let's do this. It's the official thank yous. See, thank yous are just much more important than money. Chris, I want to thank you for the words you said on enterprise sales. I think this was one of the most important learnings that came out of the entire process for me. You said, I think I was, as I am wont to do, I was sketching out this whole 10-point plan of this deal I was doing, what was going to happen the next day, 5 days later, 8 weeks later, and you said, whoa, 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 you just have to get the next meeting. And that really helped me focus my thinking. And I actually have it on my wall on a Post-it note. It says Chris. Ryan, your strategic partnership talk was really stuck with me because of the human element in it, of just, these are people, we are dealing with people and systems of people. And Tom, I didn't put Tom on here. Hopefully Tom will watch this after the recording. Tom, you gave us some incredible just awareness about legal backgrounds, but also IP, but also kind of why we all do these things. Really appreciated that. And to the cohort, I thanked you individually, but I just appreciate all the times when you shared both the good and the bad. And I have a little bit of other, like I have a million other things I could say here, but really this is what I wanted to share. It's challenged me to be part of this and to show up, and I'm going to take that with me into what we do next. So thanks a lot.
Robin, thank you. If you can stop screen sharing now.
I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I see it. It's over the top. I can't see my mouse. Let's try this one more time.
As there we go. So Robin, we were introduced to Robin by Lee Honeywell, who I've referenced twice now on this call. Amazing cohort 4 graduate. Lee described Robin as a force of nature. And Robin is a force of nature, moves mountains and walls, and it's the energy and the positivity. It's infectious. I feel it every single moment when we talk. The thing that I wasn't expecting was this love, unbridled love. And the fact that your presentation was a thank you, a love song, a love poem to the cohort, to Ryan, to myself, it just exudes that. You know, talking about humanity, like your humanity is the thing that is so impressive. I am graced to have experienced you. You are a force of nature that has the most ability to share love. And every single person in our cohort felt that. You bring everybody together. You make everybody feel cared for. And I hope that we did the same for you. With that said, this is our top 5 graduating class of cohort 7. You know, we had asked, we stick around for a moment for Q&A. There weren't really many questions to the panelists. If you have any now, please do add in. We will stick around. I think I just want to touch on one thing. You know, Gabe said it, everybody said it. The most important thing that you get in my mind, this is my 4th cohort running the program, is the community. And if there wasn't ever a testament to that, it's this graduation. Every single person is been touched by one another. I have been touched. Ryan has been, Angelique, Sarah. Keep showing up, keep together. You know, I like to say that the Growth Lab is a LGBTQ plus center for queer entrepreneurs. We don't have golf clubs. We don't have country clubs like other populations. This or some version of this is how we uplift one another. And to Andres's point about, you know, giving back and community and being leaders, this is how we can do it. And so whether it's through StartOut, through Growth Lab, through other venues, stay together, help one another out. We are better together as a team. You know, we need to uplift one another. And this is something clearly I'm very passionate about. And the fact that every single cohort member said the best thing was being with other LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs and having that. That's why we're here. This is what we do. Everything else, every advice, whatever that is, that's just, you know, icing on the cake. It's this community. And so, you know, for Ryan and myself, being your kind of shepherds, you make this special. So I just want to specifically thank the 6 of you, 5 companies, 6 entrepreneurs for making this the most special 6 months. And we did it in a freaking pandemic. So I know. I'm not sure if there are any other comments, questions, but I would love, you know, any of the panelists to share any final thoughts. We're here for you. We're here to celebrate you. Today is all about you. So feel free to share anything else you would like.
Final comment from me. Absolutely well done. Incredible progress. Anyone who knows me, I'm never quite satisfied though. So no matter how awesome this is, you have a lot more to do. So go out there, conquer the world, and make a huge difference and change the narrative of how people view LGBTQ entrepreneurs. So through your success, through your great companies, through being awesome, employers, being awesome partners, change the supply chains, you can change everything just through your mere success. So make that happen and we'll be even prouder of you. So thanks everyone from the bottom of my heart.
It's been a great journey, great people, even in the rough times. So this, yeah, it's been fantastic from top to bottom. And I thank everybody that we saw each other every week for hours upon hours. And everybody is special to me. I mean, I appreciate everybody. So I love the journey, wouldn't change a thing.
Only thing I would change was in-person alcohol consumption. But we'll do that in Palm Springs.
I want some of those magic drinks from the Cauldron.
Tell me, let's change in-person alcohol consumption. Sounds good.
That's my speciality.
We deliver, guys. We deliver worldwide. You know, just shop.thecauldron.io. You got it.
Love.
Thank you guys so much.
Ryan, were there any questions? Otherwise, why don't you take us home?
We had one question about you know, what qualifies to be in Growth Lab, and I believe Sarah or Emma shared a link. You know, the quick answer is that, you know, we look for companies that are finding success and have a product so that we can accelerate. You know, we want to be able to work with as many companies as we can, but the skill set that Chris and I have is really about growing a business. So we want you to have a good foundation, and we want to be able to help you accelerate the process of growth, you know, create really strong relationships, really go to the next level. And that's where we see is a special place for StartOut Growth Lab. So with that, I'm so impressed with everyone here. Thank you everyone for spending your evening, or Matt, like Matt and Dave, the middle of the night with us. We are so glad to have you here. To everyone who attended, please don't be a stranger. StartOut is an amazing organization. There's something for everyone, no matter what stage of business you are, from ideation all the way to Series A, venture funded. There's a place for you in this organization, and we want your support. We want you to give back, and we want you to make a difference.
Thank you, Ryan. Well, adios, cohort number 7. Stay together. Robin, I am counting on you to keep us together. And thank you, everybody in virtual Zoom land, for participating with us. This was probably our most well-attended graduation via Zoom. So, and we've had 2 now. So good night. Thank you. Cohort 7, you're amazing. As Andres said, go do epic stuff. About to curse. Go do epic things, please. We will be here watching. Good night, everybody.